So guys, Alex Ariza was talking to Fight Hype, and he was talking about Amir Khan. Now, what he said was something actually very fascinating. He was mentioning Amir Khan's name. He was talking about, you know, the Crawford Khan fight, and I'm going to do a couple of videos about it. I'm going to do a couple of videos about what he said. But one thing he mentioned, which I found very interesting, which I actually kind of agree with to a certain extent. He said Amir Khan was no longer the same fighter after the Garcia loss. He goes, he split up with all the with his training team. He split up with you know, Freddie Roach, myself, and he was no longer. He never had the same thing about him. Now, I think he joined Virgil Hunter, which obviously made him a bit defensively a bit more cute, which probably took away from his offensive, you know, ability a little, which I think he needed. I think he needs a trainer like Virgil Hunter. I think Freddie Roach's style only will work for him, but against certain types of opponents. I think Freddie Roach is very attacking, very aggressive type of trainer, whereas Virgil Hunter thinks about safety, defense. But I do agree with Alex Ariza a little bit. I don't think Amir, although I think Amir Khan's a very confident guy, and he's come back from defeats, and he's come back. I don't think he's had the same level of confidence prior to the Garcia knockout, right? He's not had the same kind of confidence. I feel prior to the Garcia knockout, Amir Khan was the money man in the sport. People were looking at Amir Khan as like a future superstar, right? After that, that all went. So Amir Khan then just became a regular fighter after that loss to Danny Garcia. I think people, because he lost to Peterson, but the loss to Peterson was very controversial and it was a cracking fight. The Garcia fight, don't get me wrong, was a cracking fight, but he lost and he got beaten quite well. And I think that then really, especially the fact that Amir Khan was a massive favourite in that fight, I think that really took away from his star power. And Amir Khan, I don't think he had ever after that. Maybe it was because he realised that he can be beat and he can be knocked out, because after the Prescott fight, he always viewed the Prescott fight as a mistake and that won't happen again, but he realised that it happened again. And I think the confidence, then he realised that, you know what, these guys can knock me out. Because I think he thought the Prescott fight was a mistake. Whereas that won't happen again because he's way more skillful than these guys, and he is. But, you know, that fight kind of took away from his confidence a little bit. I do think Amir Khan, from a confidence point of view, wasn't the same after that Garcia loss. I think his star power went, everything went, you know, and after that, he was never world champion again, you know, so. And I think this Terence Crawford fight and the Canelo fight, of course, he had as well. That was for a world title. But these are the only two fights after that he had for a world title. He didn't even fight for a world title. But he didn't fight a lot after that. He had his fights here and there, and he was very inactive for periods. And that hurt him throughout his career as well, because really, you know, he hasn't had the best preparation. Yeah, he fought twice. He's obviously had 2 fights, but at a very low level. Before this Crawford fight, and that's how it's been. Early on, his career was very structured out because, like I said, they were developing him into be a superstar. He was the money man, and they were developing him to be the next big thing in boxing. However, after that loss to Danny Garcia, I think a lot of people kind of that thought Khan could become that big star kind of backed away a little, because they maybe realized that probably they don't think he's as good as what, you know, they thought, and they backed away, and that star power kind of evaporated from Khan. But before that, I think a lot of big people like De La Hoya at the time, Richard Schaefer, they thought Khan would be the next big thing, or the big money man, you know, in the sport. Unfortunately for Khan, that Garcia fight really put the cat amongst the pigeons, because if Khan had won that fight, then there was big fights, and after that, Khan never kind of managed to regain, you know, his star power again, unfortunately. And that's why I think it dented his confidence a little bit. Don't get me wrong, he still goes into every fight believing he's going to win and he has that confidence. That's just Amir Khan. Many people from a defeat like Kell Brook, for example, wasn't able to come back from defeat, in my opinion. Khan came back even early on in his career. Then after the Garcia, still came back. And now Canelo, now he's in a Crawford fight. But that's just Khan's got a big heart, you know. I think I agree with Ariza. I don't think Amir Khan's been the same. I think he was talking about it from a training point of view. I think from a training point of view, probably. And, you know, Amir Khan was a beast before that Garcia fight. After that, he kind of was more within himself. That's probably because he probably knew I have to fight a certain way in order to win these fights. If I fight that way, there's a chance that I could lose and get caught and get knocked out. And that's why Amir Khan went a bit more defensive. But I think he made the right move, you know, joining Virgil Hunter. But I do think Alex Ariza has a point. You guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Alex Ariza is saying right that Amir Khan was never the same after the Garcia loss? Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.